What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at you today with another Dokkan Battle video. Now, today I'm going to be testing a little something weird. I've had you guys ask me for more of the 7th Zone content. A lot of people have said they can't beat 7th Zone, and it's kind of my opinion that 7th Zone's become a little too easy, to be honest. It was a bit of a challenge when it first dropped, but within months, and I mean literally like 2 or 3 months, it just became a joke. And to show you what I mean by that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set myself a challenge. Now, I'm going to try to S-clear this with Aragana as the only main attacker. And I hear you saying, but you got a full team here. Well, follow me. Let's go ahead and talk about this. While we do have other units that are going to be doing a little bit of damage, I will emphasize it is a very, very little tiny bit of damage. Alright? So, Chigusa's going to do 100% SA gauge charge to top this off, and Goblin Slayer is going to do his main physical and dark debuff. Reason we're going to do that is because these bats here, well, they're weak to dark damage only. Now, they are sky types, but there are no sky killers, at least that I'm aware of, in the game. I looked through our list earlier, and I didn't see any sky killers whatsoever in the game. So, nothing that's necessarily, that sky types are necessarily weak to or anything like that. So, literally for this event, you've got to use a dark team. But our most recent unit, Aragana, as we've shown previously, is an absolute beast. So I'm going to try to beat this. I'm trying to get an S clear. Actually, I'm going to shoot for a turn 11 win. But I'm going to try to beat this with an S clear, just using her as an attacker. And I hear you say, but Goblin Slayer is a dark unit. Yes, he is, but we're only going to use skill 1, and then we're going to get rid of him. So the reason I'm going to do that is because when these guys, they're eventually going to buff themselves up, and these 90% buffs are going to become 110%, which means any physical attack damage you would do outside of that is going to be completely nullified. Not entirely. It's not going to be like 0 damage, but it's going to be like, 2,000 or 3,000 damage here, and it's not really enough when they have 4.5 million health each. When you're attacking one unit for a couple thousand damage, it's going to be, nothing whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and buff Aragana, and I'm going to go ahead and do our 33% SA gauge charge. And I'm going to keep that active for a couple of turns, and I'll show you why here in a moment. The main goal is to get SAs very quickly and very often. And that's going to be actually pretty easy. You'll see. You'll see here in a moment. Some of you have probably already figured out where I'm going to go with this, but those of you that haven't, stay tuned. You're going to enjoy this. All right. So I'm going to go do a base attack now with Chigusa. I'm going to go ahead and do an AoE and guard rate debuff with this Eyes. And then Eyes is gone and Haruhime is going to come in. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and continue doing our main buff stack with Aragana. And Line is going to buff the 33% SA gauge charge in the event that we might get that with Eyes. Oof. Eyes took a 1 major hit kill. Ugh. So there goes our S clear, unfortunately. Not the way I'd like to see that go down, but it is completely a thing. To be honest, that's why when you saw the beginning of this, I had an A clear before. So if she was a little bit stronger, we would have been fine, but unfortunately mine bit the dust very quickly. She's squished. So I'm going to go ahead and have to do here a debuff. Let's make sure that we're good. Okay, so all the debuffs that we spent 2 units implanting are now good for at least 1 turn, so I can do the 40% debuff with Haruhime. That's going to help keep everyone alive. Chigusa is going to continue doing just a regular base attack. Aragana is going to continue doing her regular buff stack. Now, actually, I take it back. She has good for an SA, so we're going to SA with her. Reason I'm going to do that takes all-in single target damage down 50%. Kind of nullifies what we put here there for, but oops. Means I probably, well, it doesn't take down the guard rate, so the guard rate is still worthy, but I just kind of wish she hadn't died. I'm going to have to work on that with this team, but neither here nor there. The whole point of this is a challenge, so she's kind of just a casualty. And then I'm going to do Spotlight one more time so that Haruhime gets the 33% SA gauge charge. And if you've been looking at my assists, that means everybody from an assist standpoint has 33%. Everybody from an adventure standpoint has 33%, with the exception of Chigusa, who has her own 100%, and Haruhime, who has an 100% on the assist side. See what I mean? We're going to get tons and tons and tons of SA. And that's why we're going to SA here. It's going to debuff the all-in single target damage 50% and buff Aragana's strength and dark attack damage 80%. So while we could get another 20% physical out of Haruhime, it's not going to be worthwhile. It's going to be a lot better to use the SAs with Aragana and just basically spam it. So here we go. Go, girl. Show them what it is. Boom. Let's see what kind of damage she does. Alright, and I know the icons are a little distracting. I do tend to play with icons on, because if I turn them off, then I can't see what buffs and whatnot I've got on my team. But I'll turn them off for the duration of the video, because it is going to be kind of hard to see the damage on top of that. Alright. Now, the only downside here is that means I will have to check Aragana to see when she is debuffed before we attack. If I leave the icons on, that's going to show that. So I'm going to go ahead and do Yosuga, because they're going to be... Yeah, so all these things that have one turn left, they need to get buffed before I can do Haruhime's other buff. And Aragana is... We got 2 turns left on that. So we have 2 turns left before we... Well, 2 turns left on her extra attacks, which means we get this turn, and then turn 5 we've got to rebuff it. So we're going to do that. Now, she's going to go back down. Line's going to go back down to doing a base attack, just like Chigusa's basically been doing since turn 2. So now I got Haruhime, who's doing buffs, or buff replication, technically, and Aragana, who is just doing her basic attacks. And some good attacks we got there. 134k is pretty substantial, especially when it's just a basic attack. Boom. Alright, so Aragana is probably debuffed based on the damage we saw there. No, she's not. Maybe the debuff actually left. So since the debuffs are gone, I'm going to go ahead and SA this turn. And I'm going to do Sheikah, I believe. Yeah, I'm going to do Sheikah on this turn. Because I feel like they're probably going to debuff next turn. So I need to get that out there. But I need the penetration rate buff. So let's go ahead and do that. Go, girl! You want to make sure you're doing her SA whenever she's not debuffed. So, because if you do her SA when she's debuffed, she'll do significantly less damage. Almost a mil. That's crazy. She's like 800k. That's nuts. Alright. Remember, that's per unit. That's wild. I remember a time before Haruhime dropped where we were like, oh my goodness, unit just did 1 million damage? That's insane. That's crazy. And now we have AoE, and that was single target. Now we have AoE units that are doing that. It's pretty wild. Alright. So all the debuffs should still be in play. They are. So we're going to have to do Yosuga to replicate that. And she needs to replicate skill 1. Yes. So you see that right there? That has to get replicated. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, she didn't get debuffed, which is interesting. I was very much expecting that. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's go. And if you're not familiar, the reason we're replicating skill 1 is because that's what gives her the extra attack each turn. So we buff it this turn. Next turn that she's not SAing, because next turn's going to be an SA, assuming she's not debuffed. The next time she does an attack, she is going to basically do double attacks. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty wild. And she did one that turn, actually. That's why we buff it when it says 1 turn left, because now it says 3 turns left. She's actually not debuffed. That's crazy. Okay, well, I'll take it. So she's not going to do a double attack on this turn. She's actually going to do the double attack next turn when we do a base attack. But remember, like I said, so long as she's not debuffed, go crazy. So we're just going to go nuts. What we got here? What you going to do, girl? Nice. Another 800k hit. Very nice. I like to see numbers like that. Just absolutely taking them out. Alright, so turn 9, we should get another SA. That'd be kind of nice. Boom. Look at that. Getting penetration, no criticals, though. I don't think we're getting criticals, which is unfortunate, but, you know, it's a thing. Alright, so we still got 3 turns on that, so we're going to keep it going. And notice that everybody else, you know, when I say everybody else, Haruhime is doing a buff. Line and Chigusa are doing, like, puny damage. They're doing like nothing. Like that was like what, 5,900, 6,185? Nothing. That's not damage. That's like insulting is what it is. Alright. So turn 9 we're gonna get an SA. If we're lucky, and I emphasize lucky, maybe we can clean this up. Let's see. Ah, no, we're debuffed. We're debuffed, but that's fine. I'm going to do an essay anyway. I want to see the difference between when she's debuffed and when she's not. All right, girl. Get it. Let's see what she got here. Ooh. One of them guarded hard. Only got 300k on that one in the back. So, yeah. Yeah. We got to drop that. Well, that's the unfortunate reality here is when you're debuffed and when they guard, you do get, like, no damage whatsoever. So we really need to try to get wild damage out while we can. All right, so we got 2 turns left on that, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. She is still debuffed, unfortunately. I was really hoping for a turn 11 finish, but that's fine. The end of this turn, we'll do another SA and see where we stand. So it'll probably be a turn... If we get the right hit this turn, we could finish turn 12. And that's kind of nice because our goal was turn 15 because that is... Turn 15 is the S clear. So we're easily going to get the S clear here. Alright, so Sheikah, we're going to do her SA, make sure she's not debuffed again. She is not. Great news. We're doing Sheikah on Haruhime just because she's out of MP. That's going to do a little bit of MP restoration. Probably won't need it, but we're going to try anyway. What you got? Boom, 800k again. Very nice. And with any kind of luck, maybe next turn? I think that one at the back is going to survive, though. As long as Aragana's not debuffed, I'm going to turn her icons back on. It doesn't look like she's debuffed yet. She is not debuffed. Nope. So rather than doing her turn 1 buff, I'm going to go ahead and turn icons off one more time. And let's see. Let's make sure that everything on them is still debuffed. It is. So, yeah. Let's go. And let's just give you an idea of where they're at now because of all the debuffs and everything we've done. They're at 95% down on dark damage, 50% down on physical. So that's why I say it's important to get those debuffs in there to do these kinds of things. So basically, if you debuff them, if you've got a good healer like Haruhime or like Artie or someone like that, you're good to go. It's 100% about healing, about debuffing them, and if you have time, which I did in this case, buffing your unit. But debuffing is kind of the number one in a lot of these things. It's going to make or break a run. Get it! Get it! Counter! Counter Aragana! Yes! Turn 12 finish. Perfect. Perfect. If it wasn't for that one debuff we got, we would have had that on turn 11, but hey... That's easily inside of an S clear. Unfortunately, because Eyes croaked, that did kind of nullify our S clear. It's going to be an A clear again. So I've really got to go in there and give Haruhime a little something to make sure she's good to go. But other than that, it should show you how easy this really is. So if I can do this in 12 turns, anybody who's got Aragana like +3, even maybe +2, you should easily be able to wipe these guys out within... I mean, with a team of Dark with the right support of the right debuff, you should be able to do this within 20 turns, no questions asked. Even if you have a full team of Dark, and she's +2, I'm going to call it turn 15. Easy. Easy. With the right build and paying attention to our buff stack. So, it should show you how doable this is. This team is absolutely... Or I say this team... That unit is absolutely killer, and that's just the power of the new units we've gotten in the game. So expect, and Aragana, I kind of consider her kind of indicative of what we can expect to see of all the elements going forward, at least up until the anniversary in June. So there you go, guys. Go wipe this out. Remember, you got to debuff these opponents. You got to debuff them hard, and if you still have room in your build, make sure you buff yours. But for this one, you got to use Dark. And for this one, you got to use Thunder. So go build a good team. I'm going to build a team for this. We'll come back and talk about that tomorrow. But for now, like, comment, share. I'll be back at you guys with more Danmachi soon.